Many people are unaware of the terrifying story of St Albans, England, and the serial killer who used tea to poison his victims. He left hundreds ill. This strange story will make you reconsider asking for a cuppa, a well-known British tradition. Graham Young from St Albans began his poisoning activities when he was 9. He stole poisons from his school lab. The eerie killer secretly infused it into his friends' soft drinks and sandwiches, making them sick. Graham was an exceptional science student, so his father purchased him a chemistry set. Molly, Fred's wife and Graham's stepmother, was clutching her stomach in excruciating pain and pleading for help. Fred soon became concerned about why his wife's health was deteriorating. She lost weight, her hair began to fall out, and she appeared to be aging rapidly. Graham had used Molly in a disturbing chemistry experiment, observing her after each dose and recording his observations in a journal. This was only one of many deaths caused by Graham's strange behavior. Early signs of his behavior were evident. For example, when he learned to read, he chose non-fiction books about murders, one of whom was the poisoner, Dr. Crippen. In his adolescence, he developed a fascination with Hitler and began to wear swastikas and participate in satanic rituals. One ritual was a sacrifice of the family's pet cat. The young boy's mind, obsessed with chemical experiments and science, became so manipulative that no one would suspect it was him. Graham's sister, Winifred, became ill on her way to work one day and began having hallucinations. That morning, she remembered Graham giving her a cup of tea that tasted so bad she spit it out. Belladonna, an ancient extract of deadly nightshade, was discovered in her system by doctors. Graham's father confronted him, believing that his chemistry experiments had accidentally contaminated Winifred's cup, but he persuaded him that she had been mixing shampoo in the same cup. Graham was adding chemicals to his mother's cup of tea every day, to the point where her body became tolerant. Graham's sick behavior led him to switch the chemical to thallium the night before she died, and that was the end of that human experiment. However, the cause of death was never discovered. Instead, it was blamed on injuries she sustained in a bus accident a year before. It did not take long for Fred to become seriously ill. He was admitted to the hospital and diagnosed with antimony poisoning, only one dose short of death. Graham's experiments earned him the moniker Mad Professor at school. On May the 23rd, 1962, he was arrested after his science teacher discovered bottles of poison as well as books and notes about infamous poisoners on his desk. Graham was arrested after confessing to the attempted murders of his sister, father, and friend. Graham was diagnosed with personality disorders and schizophrenia at 14 and admitted to Broadmoor Hospital for 9 years. He poisoned patients and staff at Broadmoor, where he was the youngest inmate. He poisoned an inmate here, but they did not take the call seriously. Cyanide was extracted from laurel bush leaves and classified it as self-harm. In June 1970, doctors recommended that he be released because he was fully recovered and no longer obsessed with poisons, violence, and mischief. He then found work at John Hadlin Laboratories, a photographic supply firm in Bovington, at the age of 23, where he offered to make tea and coffee for his co-workers. It was no surprise that Graham had infused poison into his colleagues' tea, causing them to fall ill one after the other. However, the illness was initially attributed to a virus known as the Bovington bug, but they later discovered links to Graham and his tea. Another victim, Fred Biggs, became ill with the bug for the second time after drinking a cup of tea and was taken to a hospital in Hemel Hempstead. Soon after, his skin began to peel and he was transferred to the National Hospital for Nervous Diseases in London, where he died after being examined by 7 doctors. Graham's chemical poisoning spree ended in 1972 when toxicology expert John Cavanaugh proved during his trial that Graham was the source of hundreds of illnesses in Bovington Village. The Bovington bug took hold shortly after Young joined the firm, and the details of his previous conviction were quickly revealed to investigators. His diaries revealed that he poisoned approximately 70 people in the factory while recording the effects, as well as a list of his co-workers who were next in line to be killed. He was arrested on November the 21st, 1971 in Sheerness, Kent, after his residence was searched and police discovered thallium on him. Graham pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 2 counts of poisoning at his trial in St Albans Crown Court in June 1972 and was sentenced to life in prison. When asked if he was sorry, he replied, "What I feel is the emptiness of my soul." Graham was eventually remanded to Parkhurst Prison on the Isle of Wight, where he met Moore's murderer, Ian Brady. He was also fascinated by the 24-year-old who shared his intrigue with Hitler. Graham, 41, died in his cell on August 1st, 1990. A myocardial infarction, also known as a heart attack, was listed as the cause of death. Although the claims that he was poisoned by his fellow inmates, or even himself, will remain a mystery. What I did not tell you in the story was that Graham's mother died just a few weeks after he was born from tuberculosis, and he was raised by his aunt and uncle until he was 2, when his father remarried to Molly, his stepmother. It is said that he took this very badly and missed his aunt. Do you believe that this was enough to make him the way he was? Or do you think he was just pure evil? And have you heard of this story before? Leave your comments down below and I will see you in the next one.